Hello everyone, welcome back to 𝗟𝗶𝗵𝗫. My name is Swati, where I'm there to help you with all your HR concerns. So this video is the continuation of my previous video, which was about probation process. If you haven't watched that video, then please first watch that. Then only you will be able to understand this second part. I have mentioned the link in description box, so please do check that. Let me first summarize the first part of probation process video for you, wherein I have discussed about the basics of new employee probation process, or you can say the conceptual things about probation process. And once you are clear with all these topics, then you can come back to the second part of the video, wherein you will get the understanding about the topics which are more process oriented. So without wasting much time, let's quickly get back to the point. With the first topic, that is how to implement the probation process. Usually, most of the employees face an adverse effect of the so-called benefit, that is, the companies fire the employees within probation period without giving any valid reason. So to avoid these loopholes, the law states that a company should give a valid reason and a notice period if they wish to terminate any employee within the probation period. I have mentioned about this topic in my previous video, that is the first part, and you can go there and check this under the topic conditions applicable in probation period. Here in this video, we are going to have an insight on how the company can and should use probation period so that it can benefit both organization and employee. The first step says that it is the right of an employee to have a clear and transparent expectation set on the first day of the joining itself. The company must have all the terms and conditions of employment and associated things like probation completion given to the employees in written on the first day of the joining. And the employee is also responsible to read and understand everything and then only give the acknowledgement. Also, the employees must be given in writing the expectations they are required to fulfill in order to complete the probation period successfully on time, and also the consequences if they fail to do so. This is not a legal process but a mandatory rule that every company should follow, because when you are going to have the review meeting with that employee, it would be easy to give feedback if you have things documented. Now, once you have documented everything as stated in previous point, it is of no use if the employee is not able to get the in-between feedbacks. Thus, it is very important to conduct the short feedback meetings in between the final decision meeting and discuss about the achievements, failures and improvement areas. This will help the employee to work on them before the final decision is taken for him or her. Make sure you plan these meetings in advance and in fixed interval. For example, if you have 3 months of probation period, you can have 2 meetings in 30 days gap or 4 meetings within 15 days gap, depending upon the criticality of the role. Now, after completing the probation process, the company is left to choose any of these mentioned decisions that they can take for the hired employee, and these decisions should depend upon the steps followed as mentioned previously and match those criteria with the actual performance of the employee. So the first option available is to confirm the new employee. This can happen if the employee has met all the stated criteria mentioned by the employer to match the role for which he or she is hired. The HR member is responsible to conduct a meeting along with the reporting manager to discuss about all the achievements and improvement areas and update the employee about the new terms and conditions applicable for a confirmed employee. The second option is to extend the probation period, which is applicable in case the new employee is unable to meet the set standards and the reporting manager is still unsure to give the final confirmation. After all, there is no harm to give another chance if you see a scope of improvement. The HR member is responsible to conduct a meeting along with the reporting manager to discuss about all failures and improvement areas along with the time set for this extension. It is obvious that this step can lead to frustration and dissatisfaction in the employee, so you have to be ready with proper explanation and data to give valid reason of giving this extension. Also, you have to be careful with the conversation to make it a positive one. The third option is to end up the process, which can happen if the new employee is very casual towards the set expectations and the manager is not able to see any scope of improvement or is not at all satisfied with the performance. This is one of the most sensitive decisions that you need to have with the new hired, as it can lead to a negative result if not handled properly. So if you decide to take this decision, you have to be very clear with strong reasons to fail the new hire within his or her probation period. It is against the law in case you are found failing any employee without any valid reason within the probation period.
Now let us understand some tips for you successfully using probationary period.
First tip says that when you are drafting a probation period policy, it is a very crucial step. So it is always advised that you should consult your legal team or any outside counsel, because this step ensures that you understand all the legal limitations of a probationary period and what kind of legal limitations your company has. Secondly, consistent implementation of any workplace probationary period is extremely important. Not only can inconsistent policies cause division among your workers, but they can also cause legal issues. If employees make accusation of unfair treatment, it could damage your company's reputation or entice one or more employees to seek legal action. Thirdly, any probationary period must involve the standard onboarding process that includes the strategic training and ongoing support provided to the new hires. Frequent feedback is a critical component of any successful probationary period. New hires should understand what they are doing right and have the opportunity to correct any negative feedback. Be sure to schedule regular feedback at least once a week to keep new hires updated on how they are doing and how they can improve. Lastly, the primary goal of a new employee probationary period is to determine if the newly hired employee is a right fit for the organization or not. The last thing you want to do is allow the probationary period to end without addressing issues. This is the time to take action, such as extending the probationary period, switching the new hire to a new role or department, or if necessary, terminating the employment.
On to the second part of the video, that is how to conduct the final review meeting.
The probation review meeting is conducted once the newly hired employee successfully completes his or her defined probation period. As I have explained this in my previous video, you can go there and check about the details of this topic. So the purpose of this review meeting is to define how the employee has completed the probation period and vice versa. In this meeting, the manager clearly explains if the employee has successfully completed the probation period, that is the defined expectations and performance standards, what all improvements are required, and also set the goals and path to work ahead in the future. In simple terms, this review meeting is the first step of employment process. There is no hard rule to be followed to conduct this review meeting. Every manager conducts this as per their own convenience. Some managers prefer to have this in a format procedure first and then have the face-to-face discussion, whereas some prefer to have face-to-face discussion directly and cut off the formalities. But being an HR person, I would always advise to go for the format procedure first so that you have things documented as per the procedure. Although it is always advised to plan the meeting in advance, this will help both the employee and the manager to prepare for the same. Always remember to have this meeting as an open-ended discussion from both the parties.
Now get through the strategies to draft the type of questions to be asked from employees.
Many employees start this meeting in a nervous state, so ensure to make them comfortable by starting on a positive note, which can be done either by highlighting their positive points or their achievements during their probation period. Next, asking question about the roles that require improvement is the reverse way of asking a question stated previously. And by considering this as an important question, make sure that you as a manager is also ready with the support or help that employee may ask for. For every role that requires improvement also requires your support and guidance as a manager. Another important question is to ask the employees about the expectation from themselves towards their own roles for next 6 months or a year, depending upon their job profile and role. And most importantly, don't forget to set the review dates in regular intervals as per the defined goals. Last but the must required question is to be open to accept the opinion shared by employees in regards to their job role, company culture, work environment, etc. As mentioned before, probation period is the opportunity given to both the parties to decide on employment. Thus, while having the review discussion, it is also important to understand how comfortable the employee is towards his or her new job, work environment, culture, etc.
So here comes 7 important tips to conduct the probation meeting in an effective way.
Conduct the regular review meeting as per the defined time interval within the probation period, because this will help the managers to understand and communicate the improvement areas and also help the employees to overcome all the possible loopholes. Always be prepared with your notes before starting the meeting, that is to be aware about the work and the progress report of the employees between the start and end date of the given task. Probation is the best platform to provide constructive feedback to the employees so that they can work on the weak areas on time and be able to prove themselves in this judgment period. Managers should use these review meetings to analyze the issues, if any, like any kind of technical error, reason behind the issues, and the plan of action to overcome them. Managers should always encourage the new employees to share their feedback or opinion wherever required, because the new one might feel uncomfortable or nervous in certain situations. So always ensure to have an open-ended discussion in such meeting. It is the manager's responsibility to set the right example for a new member. That is, they should not expect everything to be done perfectly in the first step itself. Give them some time to adjust and then only set the practical expectation. Make sure to have the record of all meetings conducted within the probation period, like tasks defined, outcomes of the given task, support expected from the employees and given by the manager, and many more such things, because these records will help the manager to take a final decision upon the completion of probation period.
There you have the concise overview of new employee probation process. I hope I am able to explain the entire process in a simplified manner. If you find this video helpful, then please hit that like button and do share it with others. And before you leave, don't forget to subscribe the channel and click on bell icon so that you get to know about every new upload on the channel.